Okay, so it's been a few days since the 7th episode of Dexter Resurrection came out, and it really, the title Curse Correction, what it really means is we're on the final turn of the lane, things are being finalized, and I mean, we can see it from the discourse of these past few days regarding the episode, the new theories, and all that. So, yeah, let's quickly go over the episode and a quick analysis. We're in this rented mansion where Prater and Charlie are fighting about if it's a good idea and all that. I mean, I feel that Charlie's character, she might even betray them. I mean, honestly, I can see her teaming up with Dexter. I really do, that's a personal theory. But anyway, they're there to do a horrible show and tell. Meanwhile, Harrison is being a normal person. He's thinking about his future. He wants to go back to school, get education and all that. And then we had this great moment with Dexter where he was like, yes, my child wants me in his life. I need to do this. But no, we have to sit and see this horrible presentation from Al. And I mean, I have to give it to Eric Stonestreet. I mean, I've known that the guy is very versatile. But god damn, I wasn't expecting him to be so creepy. And after that we see Dexter trying to get in the head of Red, to somehow go through this, but he understands that there is a cop out and he can just talk about the reality of what's going on. And then we have Michael C. Hall give one of his best performances as Dexter. I mean, it's amazing. And it's great to see how even Charlie relates to him, how she cannot be herself to her mother. We see her lie to her mother actually. And after that's done, we see Batista still, like we said, final turn. He's really committed. He's pointing out how convenient this is. I mean, you have to think, Batista has seen a lot of conveniences around Dexter. He's very familiar with that. He can almost smell Dexter's work in this. But back to the mansion, we see how the monsters are talking with each other, and there is this great moment. Gemini says how, what you did, Red, was a bit boring and all that stuff. But then Prater comes and he wants to chat with Dexter, and he opens up about his past, about how all these things started. I mean, he might be lying. I don't think he does. It doesn't matter. What we do know is that he seems to really like Dexter, and he really likes this authenticity, this depth. And like he says that, most people do it for the money, but I can tell that for you this was an opportunity to express yourself, which it was. And I think that Dexter felt empowered by this, like, he really likes me. Gemini doesn't really understand what's going on. I mean, he already knows that he's a narcissist who thinks he's much greater than he is. And while that's happening, then we saw Batista meet the new family of Dexter, which is really complicates things further. But meanwhile, Dexter goes and he thinks, I think Prater likes me enough where I can risk killing the second Gemini. And that's what he does. He provokes him quite realistically. I mean, they have done studies on twins, and apparently the grief of losing your twin is considered like the greatest grief a person can experience, greater than even the loss of a child, believe it or not. I mean, it's not a competition, but I'm just saying that it's such an incredible pain that they experience. Charlie, again, she's very suspicious of the whole thing, but Prater, here's the thing, he has been in the zone for so long, I don't think he can get worried about that stuff. I mean, again, his new favorite eliminated a guy who has been increasingly, let's say, annoying. Oh, and yeah, Dexter talked about his brother as well, whatever, okay, yeah. It was a good moment, but I kind of want to go over this so we can talk about the next episodes. Meanwhile, while these things are happening, Harrison is waiting for his father, and I mean, like, we saw Dexter saying, instead of being with my son, I'm being with these monsters, and again, it relates to the greater dilemma that he has, where you can't really do both. Dexter's lifestyle invites trouble to Harrison's life. But well, when it's all well and done, Dexter does go to the school, and lo and behold, who do we see? Our favorite Italian, I assume she's Italian, detective. And it's so incredible how spooky she was. I mean, if I was Harrison in this situation, I would walk away after she showed me, because I wanted to demonstrate to her that, oh, this was an accident, I didn't plan this, we're not telling you, we don't plan to kill you. Yeah, that was the moment where I don't make a joke about Harrison being the Bay Harbor hospitality lobby boy. I actually caught this afterwards because I realized it's one of those moments. But yeah, back to the... all of the theories around the New York Ripper got thrown out of the window, and everybody already thinks that it must be the Trinity Killer's son, after what Dexter said, after he also arrived and spooked the detective even more. Another theory. I believe that perhaps the detective will ask Dexter to join them. I mean, the man was a very capable forensic scientist, a blood spatter analyst. Yeah, after that's done, and we have this amazing new theory, which, I mean, if they do it... here's the thing, here's where I have an issue with that. The showrunner right now is like from the original, the very beloved seasons of the show. Wasn't a particularly fan of what happened with the Trinity Killer's son. Don't quote me on that, but from memory. So that perhaps makes it a bit unlikely, but you know, maybe he has something interesting to say about it. But anyway, they leave, Harrison talks with a girl, Dexter goes to the car, they have this nice father-son moment where, we're not gonna talk about that. What Harrison does want to talk about is Batista, which of course Dexter, as always, is way too overconfident about it. He thinks everything is gonna be fine, but lo and behold, when he's back to his house and he's still dealing with his trophies from either there too, from the Gemini killers, he hears Batista upstairs, such a great expression from Michael C. Hall, and they have this very direct, very confrontational conversation in Dexter's car, reminiscent of Dogs, who of course, you know, even though he left the show so early, everything really that is happening right now is because of him. You know, the end of the original Dexter wouldn't be, and then, you know, New Blood and now Resurrection. So where does all this leave us? Well, it leaves us with Batista having a tracker in Dexter's car. It leaves Prater trusting Red, you know, Dexter, to a great extent. It leaves Charlie not trusting him at all. And even though she doesn't like Prater or all this serial killer stuff, she still needs money for her mother's treatment. Even all that, I still believe that she will betray Prater. It would be very interesting to see them team up, you know, Dexter and her. Maybe they have a scheme where she gets Prater's money or whatever she needs for her mother, and then she helps Dexter deal with Batista. Whereas, realistically, second season is gonna be the Reaper. This season, obviously, we focus on Prater and his little charade. So second season is gonna be the Reaper. Third season, I assume, is where Batista is gonna become more prevalent. I'm very interesting to see, like, if he will leave, or maybe if they resolve the whole thing. I don't think they're gonna kill him off. I mean, we do want Dexter to be in a more favorable light. Even though he's still doing all these stupid things, collecting trophies and letting his dark passenger be on the wheel, like, something has to give. You can't be a great father and do this on the side. That's why we had the Trinity Killer in the beginning, right? That's why also it makes sense for the Reaper to be his son, so we can circle around. Like, look what happened to him. Do you want that for Harrison? I mean, Harrison has already attacked several people, even though, okay, he's more of a normal person, he's more adjusted, he has a greater moral compass. But yeah, the consistency, the show has been great so far, so all those things will be addressed. I assume I'm probably wrong about everything, but okay, we do know that Charlie is reluctant, and obviously they're setting this up for something. We also set up how Prater was probably manipulated by the guy who offed his parents, even though he doesn't think. Just kinda like showing how he can be gullible, how his ego gets in the way, you know, showing why he's so trusting of Red/Dexter. I also like to think that he probably enjoyed seeing a person doing his thing in front of him, like seeing the Gemini killer die from one of his other prized killers is probably not a negative memory for Prater. So yeah, I assume in the next episode we're gonna see how Dexter prepares to either off Al or whatever, but Batista is gonna foil those plans. So yeah, Dexter will have to do this later on in the season. I mean, we still have 5 more episodes, so anything can happen. Surprise, hermano! That was such a great moment. But yeah, really, we don't have too much stuff right now. Like I said, it was a very pivotal moment. It's setting up the last little arc of the season after episode 8, and that's where things are really gonna go down. Some people said how the episode felt kind of boring with all the talking and all that stuff, but first of all, ridiculous. It was amazing. But also, this episode was like a quasi bottle episode. What that means, a bottle episode, is when they have like main characters, one location to save money. I don't think that's exactly what happened here. The main purpose was the exposition to kinda set up everything for the final arc of the season. But still, having less action is probably more financially convenient. So yeah, that's everything I had to say. It was mostly like the analysis part that was more interesting, I think, for this episode. Later on is when we'll have a lot of theories before the final episodes. And then even more theories about the next seasons. It's really nice that we already know that it has been renewed, so we can theorize what will happen. I mean, obviously, way too many things are happening for them to be resolved in one season. Like, we haven't even introduced the end potential key characters that could be the Reaper. Okay, I mean, obviously, literally everybody has been assumed to be, but you know what I mean. We haven't seen him do any work. We haven't seen nothing to indicate that we're gonna deal with him right now. It's gonna be Prater and Batista. I assume Batista will stay alive, we'll see, but I think he will leave and then come back in the end to finalize. Then again, maybe it's this season that's gonna resolve Dexter's dilemma. Who knows, we'll see. If you're still watching, subscribe and like the video.